Knights shall always be vigilant, and vampires too. So the magicians of the past, they're all vampires, and light working is out. The science of Egypt, of alchemy, magic is out, and we're all a zombified nation of Somborgs. But now I'm gonna teach you a little bit about who will become the blue bear of the year. And just being out, this is my crib, and so there's this, thing, and vampires, yeah. The worst thing you can do to a vampire is survey him. And if that vampire happens to be a child of Cain, with his hat, and his mother, and unrighteously damned, not his own will, not by his own choice, when he was a child, and a virgin, and a Christian, I think you'd stay out of my way. Jesus. A vampire is a Christian and serves the Lord. Unrighteously damned are always more powerful. The righteously damned are without a foot in heaven. So much less powerful, more chaotic and perverse. Sexual vampirism, for instance, is on the losing trend, I hope. Fuck this. Surveying a vampire and draining another is probably the most evil you can do. People are not vampires. Vampires are hereditary. And traits come from, of course, bloodline imps, especially shapeshifter families or those with alien DNA. We could go into the different traits. Most channels and oversensitive people have what you'd call in the modern, vampire community, vampire tendencies. You have, of course, elemental vampires, which is the god class, and psy-vampirism and sanguinarians who drain blood. And I'm an elemental vampire, and I eat 350 to 500 calories a day. I eat more during summer, and when it's my birth sign, and when I have more people around me, and I don't lose weight. And of course, I can always feel the presence of the Force in everything and everyone, very psychic, etc. Vampirism can be induced by severe emotional or physical trauma, which is often interconnected. And I'm being stalked here. That's the worst thing you can do to a vampire. And you're evil, and I'm not God. And so, St. Thomas, I tried to survive to protect children. Vampirism can also, of course, be induced by satanic ritual abuse. And the cell souls, of course, develop a tendency towards their own and each other, and without, they would become vampiric. Broken chakras tend to become vampiric. Most people today have a zombie condition of they're stalking me very much. Very evil, sick pedophiles in this nation. And they're stalking me. They represent the Freemasonic Lodge, the Freak Masons, Masones sang der nede på gaten. The Templars, the Tampoon Lords, the Frightened Tampoons, the Knights Tampoons, and everything else in between of the non-existing Egyptian history. Okay, let's continue. So you can make orgonite, and most vampires use power tools, rings. Here you see tensor rings, which I've made 50 of. They cannot wear the same clothes for long. They often take a bath, and they need, stay close to nature and meditate, and they're always polite, and they need rights, and they need protection. And this is a plea, of course. I wrote a book, which I published a week ago, where you can read all about vampires and their secrets. For instance, if I bite myself with all my might for 20 seconds, the bite marks will disappear within 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how much I use the force. So it's hard, to pierce my skin too, so that will be a problem for the doctor with the needle. I'm a full-blown vampire. I died. I was unable to pass on, so I just went back into my body. Happened 5 times in a row. Yeah. Because of an undiagnosed illness that I cannot get help for. So we've covered the traits and what makes you a vampire. Being religious. I mentioned having one foot inside of heaven, because once you're out, there is nothing beneath you and you're swallowed. That's why vampires love crosses, contrary to myth, and all sorts of gadgets. And they're not monsters at all. Well, some of them are. Yeah. Disease immunity, that one's true. We barely eat, that's true. We feel energies, that's true. I am an elemental vampire, so I survive mostly from weather. It rains whenever I walk out. 57 times in a row. Yeah. At least whenever it has, been raining, it's been me taking a walk, and whenever there's a thunder break. And let's say, like today, I cleared the skies, and then I clouded the skies, so we can direct the ether, much more powerful when we're undead. So, but I'm particular because I'm from the Merovingian bloodline. So that's a clue. Sacred bloodlines. You need to be religious. If you hadn't activated all of your chakras, and if you were incapable of a spiritual flight before becoming a vampire, then I'm gonna kill you. I mean, that is the worst, and you'll be a low red auric evil sexual vampire, and it's just a horrible condition that nobody deserves. And because you need holy blood and 1 foot inside of heaven, or else you're a goner. I mean, you will not survive. It'll be hell on earth. So particularly noble blood of the Davidic bloodline. Of course, being from a religious family is important. Having been either a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, or a nature worshipper, a pure pagan. They're of course stalking me like ever, and it's evil. And we're flame resistant, contrary to myth. I can stand much closer to fire than most people. I can also bend fire very, very easily. I will, extinguish matches, and lots of things. Yeah, depending on what's your chakra nature or whatever. I don't drink blood. I don't, you know, because it's forbidden in the Bible, and I think, you know, I'd rather be an inquisitor for the church, because I was unrighteously damned. I never had the choice. I was basically raped and ruined by the Illuminati aliens. You'd recognize them as aliens. I shouldn't mention names. For instance, to make this story believable, I'm actually not joking. I don't bleed. You idiots. You can read my book on Amazon. My name is Thomas Eitza. I need dire help. They're killing their family members and Christ's, and I am as good as a drawer as Picasso and a good singer like Roy Khan, or I dance like Michael Jackson. I'm really, really smart, and I've been denying myself, you know, conceal, don't feel, too much energy, huge awakening in my teens, terrible, terrible power. Artificially made body by Nazis. Yes, I am an ET. And I could bite myself, of course. Well, of course I can. Well, and that will disappear within like 5 minutes. But when I was a teen and I self-harmed myself, bite marks like that will last for about 3 months. So yeah, it's important for a vampire to fill himself with loving thoughts, with praise to God, with moonlight, with sunlight, with the elements, with art, with song, with, you know, impressions and all that, you know, that is alive, and that's the entire idea. But the vampiric condition is pointless in its essence because, well, depending on if you choose to be one or not choose to be one, because you're drained only to drain life, so it's, yeah, pointless. So here you see, you know, my altar for Yahweh, which is the true name of God, if you didn't know. Been picking some blueberries. So yeah, my father, you know, and you know, all my family are, yeah. You wouldn't believe me, but well, my great-great-grandfather was the head of the Norwegian Illuminati. His cousin was General Fleischer, who led the first counter-resistance against the Nazis during Second World War. And I'm the 5th Thomas of the Thorson bloodline on my mother's side, and etc., etc. And the this and that. And I am the heir to the throne of Norway. Yeah. So conceal, don't feel, and they've been targeting me forever. I didn't want to be the Antichrist. Who wants to be the Antichrist? So yeah, here you have like all the best of the world. Just one person living here. Cheese, I love cheese. I barely eat though. This is all I eat. You know, knäckebröd and leavened bread. Tea is nice. Wine. Doing the sacrament, crosses, protection, very essential. Ritual dagger to, you know, all of the evil spirits. The sacred communion. There you have the element fire, and etc. Yeah. Yeah, you heard that? That would be my little friend. So, Organite. Look at this. Wolf. Good, very powerful. Yes, you wish. And of course, I could like go into the kind of mode that you would probably call yeah, and I'm not gonna do that. But my voice change, you know, I can change my voice like I want to, etc. That's really scary. Like, you know. Anyways, we have chickens. I do not eat putre. Putre, come here. And they've gone to sleep. So yeah. Anyways, they're gone. Come here. Come here. Come here. Here they come. They're so cool. Yeah. If you want all the secrets, you can read my book. Love Jesus, love nature, protect the children. I hate nothing more than vampires. I hate them.